Cabin of the Woods Witch. This is BlueBrixx set 107913. It was released in November 2024 for about 70 euros. This construction block set consists of 1793 pieces, which are compatible to bricks by other building blocks companies like Lego, Mega, Kobe, and so on. This set was designed by BlueBrixx designer Sebastian, and as far as I know, this is going to be the first set by him that I will build. It's a BlueBrixx special set, so this means we don't get any fancy box art. The set just comes in this rather boring box, but I don't care at all. For me it's important what's inside the box. And yeah, this is what we're going to check out now. The bricks come in unnumbered bags. There are no individual building sections, and this also means that the bricks aren't pre-sorted to any building sections. As you can see, each of those bags contains a variation of different pieces. And because of the rather huge amount of pieces, what was it? 1.7k? Yeah, almost 1.8k pieces. Because of this rather huge amount of pieces, I'm going to sort all the pieces by type before I start with the building process. When I have done so, I will find at each building step way faster the necessary bricks, and yeah, this makes the whole building process way smoother. There's also one piece which didn't come in a bag, this plate here, but yeah, I don't think that an individual bag for this plate is necessary. It's a BlueBrixx special set, and this also means that we do not get printed building instructions. We have to download a PDF file from the BlueBrixx website. I already have done so. Well, by the way, I noticed that the English title of the set is a rather loose translation of the original German title. The original German title translates closer to something like The Herbalists or The Herbal Woman's Forest Hut. But I guess they tried to avoid the German word for witch, Hexe, because, I don't know, maybe they thought building a set about a witch is too controversial. Or calling a herbal woman a witch is too controversial, I don't know. But for some reason, for the English title, they didn't care in, the word witch. Well, who knows? We don't care. We are going to assemble the set now. I'm going to start with step 1. I will come back to you as soon as I see something interesting or something simply doesn't work out as shown in the instructions. Step 15. We have completed the base, and I want to take the opportunity to talk about the bricks themselves. So far, the bricks work totally fine. There's no problem with the clutch power at all. But sadly, most of the bricks come with really huge and ugly injection holes. Have a look, for example, at this stud here. Those injection holes are crater-like. This just doesn't look good. There are also some pieces with rather neatly injection holes, like this plate here. That's an absolutely fine injection point. And also this plate here. The injection point is quite big, but at least it's not a hole. But yeah, sadly most of the pieces come with these crater-like holes. Step 17. Placing stuff on this huge dark tan plate feels a bit unsatisfying because it isn't supported from below. It feels a bit wobbly because of this. Here, when we place a piece, you can see that here there's no support from below. And this would have been avoidable very easily. We should have placed a plate just here and everything would have been fine. But it works this way too, but it simply doesn't make so much fun. Step 29. We have built a little bed, and for quite a while I was thinking about what we have built here. First I thought, is this supposed to be a camera or something? You know, one of those older cameras with the tape, those video cameras. But now I think this is supposed to be a black cat. Here is the tail, there are the ears, those are the legs and the back, and yeah, there is the snout. Step 35. Right now we are building, I guess, a little bedside cabinet, and one of the pieces we are using for this step is this 1x1 round tile in I think it's flat silver. But the problem is that, at least for me, it isn't clearly visible in the instructions. I think this could also be light bluish gray or dark bluish gray. Oh, not light bluish gray, but maybe dark bluish gray, and I think it's very difficult to see that this is supposed to be a metallic color. They could have made things so much easier with simply adding a little star next to this piece like they use in their pro sets, so that we see that this piece is supposed to be in a shiny color. Or they could have marked it with some letters. For example, they could have written FS next to it for flat silver. This is something else they do in a lot of their sets. Step 55. In this step we are using a piece which I haven't used before, a knife. I have used several knives in Lego sets before, but those always looked a bit more like hunting knives or almost like little weapons. But this knife here is something which I didn't stumble upon so far. Lego introduced this piece in 2015, and from 2015 to 2019 it appeared in 15 sets. It's a knife only used in Lego Friends sets, and they come in other colors. Lego Friends sets don't have knives in this metallic color here. Oh, I have to correct myself. The knife was used between 2012 and 2019. I really should check my facts before I'm talking rubbish. Here's another correction. This piece didn't only appear in Lego Friends sets. Predominantly it appeared in Lego Friends sets, but it also appeared in 2 other sets. In the sets with The Simpsons house and in the Big Bang Theory set. Step 56. Here is a little error in the instructions. You can see here that we have placed a leaf here, and in the instructions the leaf is slightly rotated to the left, but even in the instructions it's visible that you can't do this because the leaf collides with this bright green minifigure head. Step 58. In this step, we are using pieces which I haven't used before. With the help of these pieces, we can build a book. I guess it's supposed to look like this, because we can't really see it in the instructions. Let me just use 2 hands. Oh, maybe this is supposed to look like this. There are stats in there. Yeah, this looks fine. Alright, so we have created this little book here, which is actually quite neat. Lego introduced this piece in 2016 and it appeared in a lot of sets, almost 120 almost 130 for the one side and almost 140 for the other side of the book. But let's get back to the instructions. Here we have the pieces, but we can't see where we have to place it in our build. So let's go on. Maybe in a later step we can see where this is going to be placed. That's a bit annoying. Very strange. There it is, in step 70. Alright, then let's turn our build like shown in the instructions, like this. And then our book looks like this, I think. And it just goes here. We don't connect it with anything as far as I can say. They really should have shown how to do this in the right step. Step 73. So far I have placed in this step these 4 pieces here. 1, 2, 3, 4. These 4 plates. But there are 2 more plates to place and you can't see them in the instructions. My guess is that this one goes here and the other one goes here, but we don't know for sure. Maybe we can see it in a later step. Yeah, here it is visible in step 83. And it seems that I have made the right decision. Step 76. Here is another piece which isn't visible in the instructions. Here we got a 1x1 plate, and my guess is that it's supposed to be placed here. But once again, this little inventory box just is in the way, and so we can't see it, but I'm pretty sure that this here is the right position. Yeah, in the next step we can see it slightly. Here, below this bigger plate, there sits the 1x1 plate in the corner. Step 86. We got a wedge plate here, which isn't the best quality. Have a look here, it's slightly bent. I hope that this won't become a problem in our build. No, it seems to fit sturdily. Step 92. Once again, they give us a quite bad angle to see where to place the needed pieces. We can see the bigger round tiles, but we can only see 2 or maybe 3 of these 1x1 round tiles. That's quite unfortunate. We have to wait until step 100 to see the fourth of the round tiles. Step 108. Here's a little problem, and you can even see in the instructions that it isn't doable what they want us to do. You can see here that this green plant piece is supposed to sit on one of the stats of this this bigger olive green leaf, but here in the instructions they weren't able to place it exactly on that stat. Oops. And I show you why they had this problem. You can see here that this green piece, or this, that's just green I guess, interferes with the piece in olive green. This stat and that stat should be on the same level, but they aren't. There is simply not enough space to place this piece here. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. I guess that I will place it like this. It's illegal, but at least I was able to place it there. Or maybe it is even better to simply use the other stat here in the back. Now it doesn't sit properly either, I think, but maybe it looks a bit better. No, I did it this way. I placed this green thing here on the smaller stat, like this. But in the meantime, I also noticed that one of these olive green leaves interferes with our second little duck, which we have placed here. And yeah, this just isn't thought through, I think. I'm going to place the duck somewhere else, maybe one stat to the left. There isn't actually enough space to place the duck on another stat, but I could rotate it so that it looks in this direction now. This should be fine too. How is this done in the instructions? Yeah, in the instructions it sits in the position which I had it sitting here before, but this simply doesn't work because it interferes with the olive green leaves. This way here doesn't look maybe as good as before, but at least I didn't use any illegal building techniques here. Step 128. The instructions really start to annoy me. So you can see we have to place 6 of those leaves. I have placed 4 so far, but I'm not quite sure where to place the other 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess somewhere there and there is 5 and 6, but this is barely visible. In step 168 it is visible where the leaves are placed correctly. Damn. Step 132. We got the same problem again, just with another tree. Step 134. So we are building the third of the trees of this kind. I think in total it's the 4th tree. And the instructions might not be good for the trees, but nevertheless I really like the building techniques used here. So you can see that the trunk of the tree is made with these 3 things here. We place this little steering wheel, or maybe it's one of those wheels which you need on a ship to lift the anchor. At least I remember having used this for that purpose in the 90s for a pirate ship. And yeah, we stick this one of the arms in this hole here. And on the other side, we place this little pipe. And then the only thing left to do is to place the leaves. Let me just connect these three things here real quick. Okay, so, and just imagine that the tree is complete, and once we have completed it, we stick it or we place it here on one of those pins. Step 136. Amazingly, I was able to assemble the third tree with just using the normal order of the steps. Step 138. Have a look here how this bush is placed. We are supposed to place it like this, but when we do so, it interferes with the mushroom next to it. And this means it can't sit properly here. I'm going to place it here. Step 140. Because of all the green stuff here, all these plants, I had to move the bush back again in its original position. And yeah, instead of the bush, in the end, I moved the little mushroom here in the back. Step 154. I just have placed the third of these plants here, but I had to assemble the third one 2 times because in the first run I used a bar in the center which was too short. You can see here that those 2 plants are shorter, so they use a shorter bar. And the third one use a longer bar. So this is the bar for the shorter plants and this is the bar for the taller plant. But it wasn't shown in the instructions that we need to use a longer bar this time. You can see here is the bar for the tall plant, and for example here is a bar for a short plant. Sure, when you have a look at those 2 steps right after another, you might see it that one is longer, but I didn't notice it, so I had to disassemble the whole plant again and yeah, do it once again with the longer bar. Step 162. They are going on with giving us strange viewing angles here in the instructions. It's very hard to see where to place this leaf. Step 209. In this step we once again have a problem with the view. So we need to place 2 of these 1x4 tiles, but we can only see where one is placed. And yeah, also this placed 1x2 tile isn't that clearly visible. My guess is that we are supposed to place the 1x2 tile like this, and the 1x4 tile down here, but I'm not really sure about that. We have to fast forward to step 283. There we can see how the tiles are supposed to be placed. So this one goes like this, I think, yeah. And the 1x2 tile should look like this. This is really annoying that we have to search for the right views. This is so time consuming. Step 321. In the meantime, we have completed huge parts of the build, so you can see we have added several other trees and yeah, a lot of plants, And we also have completed huge parts of the hut and also the hut's interior. The only thing left to do now is to build the cabin's roof, but this will still take quite a lot of time because there are more than 140 steps left, and all these steps belong to the roof. Step 346. This roof is going to be extremely sturdy. That's amazing. I don't think that I have created before such a sturdy construction with hinges. That's cool. Step 378. Placing this 1x1 slope here doesn't work. Here, have a look. It's illegal. You can see that this big leaf, which we have to put above the slope, doesn't touch the other leaves any longer once the slope is placed there. And actually, we had to place the leaf in an earlier step and the slope afterwards, but you can see that this absolutely is impossible. What I'm going to do now is that I will move the slope from here to this position, one step lower. Oh, and by the way, don't wonder I have placed this leaf here wrong. It is supposed to sit one step to the right. So I have to remove this one here and place it at the correct position. But this isn't so easy to remove it again. Those things get a lot of grip. Step 415. We are adding plants to the roof, and those plants are quite long. You can see that they go on a lower level than the underside of the roof itself. And this is why I'm assembling the whole thing here on the table's edge. But I fear that we are also going to add plants on the other side of the roof, and this means I can't continue like this. Because of this, I'm going to place the roof now on this bowl here, which I have turned upside down, and I hope that this is a good solution. We will see. Step 420. Once again, we can't see in the instructions where to place one of the pieces. This 1x1 slope here isn't visible at all in the instructions. But when we go 2 steps further, in step 422, we can see that it is placed here. At this position. Step 439. Here we got another mysterious brick, this 1x2 piece. You can see that this corner brick sits here, the 1x3 brick is here, and the 1x4 brick is here. But where is the 1x2 brick? Well, I think it is supposed to be placed down here, like this. Let me interlock it. Okay, and now we can place the corner brick. Oh, I already have placed it. It's here. And then on top of the 1x2 brick, we can place this 1x3 brick and the 1x4 brick. If we wouldn't have placed, or if we didn't place the 1x2 brick here, there would have been a gap now, and I think, yeah. And that's the reason why I think that we have to place the 1x2 brick there, but it isn't visible in the instructions at all. Step 465. We have completed the build. And I have to say, designer Sebastian really has created a lovely looking build. So, what do we see here? First of all, there's of course the herbalist's or the witch's hut, which is located next to this huge tree. Actually, the house really is attached to that tree. You can see here, it really sits right next to that tree. And yeah, the hut and the huge tree are located next to this little pond. Oh damn it, I think I just accidentally took off one of the grass pieces. Where does this belong to? I have no idea. Oh, I think down here. Yeah. Okay, back to the pond. Oh, come on. This might get annoying here. There are so many plants, and the problem with plants always is that you remove them way too easily. Okay, but now let's get back to the pond. So, as you can see, the pond is home to 2 ducks. I guess this is a male duck and that is a female duck, but I'm not really sure about that. I'm no ornithologist, but as far as I know, the green ducks are male and the brown ducks are female. But whatever. So, inside the pond we also get to see a lot of water plants and also a rock. And yeah, plants of different kinds also next to the pond. I think this looks quite cool. As you can see, the ground of this build is made in such a way that all the studs are visible. I think for this grass area here, that's a good decision, but I don't like it so much for the water. I would have preferred tiles for the water. And I also would have placed darker plates below those translucent plates here, because yeah, you can simply look through them, and in this case here you can see the texture of my table, and this just looks a bit strange. I think I would have placed more of those green plates below, or maybe even dark plates like black or something like that. Well, then of course we get to see a lot of trees, and yeah, we used different building techniques for those trees, and this made it a bit more interesting than doing the whole time the same, because building trees with construction bricks never is fun because of those many details, and yeah, you work the whole time with pieces of the same color and you have to concentrate very well to place them just like shown in the instructions. I have built these kind of trees here before in other sets, and those are not the most sturdy trees. But building these trees over here was quite interesting. There we used techniques which I haven't used before, at least for trees. And then there's of course this huge tree which, yeah, got a lot of different building techniques. That was quite interesting to build, and it actually was a bit more fun to build that bigger tree than this stuff here. The witch also seems to cultivate a lot of stuff. Yeah, she's a herbalist. So you can see here's a little bed where, I don't know, she grows vegetables or something like that. Here is another bed. And also one over here. Attached next to the hut, there is this little place here where, let's try some more light, where a little goat lives. It's a tiny goat, I guess it's a baby goat, but it's quite cute. And I like the way how this fence is made here with the help of those bars and roid arms. And the goat also is safe from the weather. It got a little roof. Here is the hut's chimney. There's a lot of stuff growing on the roof itself. And yeah, the walls of that hut come with a lot of greebling. I think this looks quite interesting. This makes walls just way less dull when there's a bit going on, and I really like this, how we attached or nailed these boards to the wooden wall of the hut. You can see the door, or the entry better said. There isn't a door, but we got this little curtain here, so the witch can get some privacy and yeah, open the curtain. Or better said, close the curtain. On the big tree there are located ravens, or no, I think those are crows, because they got a dark beak. So here's one and there's another one. And yeah, those look quite interesting. And here's also a deer's skull or something. Maybe it's even the skull of another goat, I don't know, up above the door. All right, I think now it's time to have a look inside the building. For this, we have to remove the roof. So let me place the camera for a second. And then let me try to detach the roof. I hope I won't break anything, but I think it's quite sturdy, so this shouldn't be a problem. Yeah. You just need a good surface where you can place the roof, because you can see that all these plants here are on a lower level than the underside of the roof, so you can't really place it like this on the table without accidentally ripping off all those plants here. And because of this, I'm putting it on this little bowl here. This should do the job. Yeah, that's fine. All right. Now we can have a look inside the building. Attached to the chimney there is this, this little stove here where the witch can cook. Next to the stove there is the witch's bed, in which already a cat is lying. Meow. Here we got, I don't know, it seems to be a cupboard or something. There are some bottles and herbs. I'm not quite sure what this is. Maybe it's a drawer. Might also be some kind of chest. I'm not sure about this. Then here's a shelf in the corner with a lot of herbal stuff and yeah, more little potions or whatever. There's a broom next to the door or next to the entry. There's a table where she can prepare her food and potions and whatever. You can see here, this is a bottle and there's another potion next to it. Some vegetables, which she already has started to cut. A carrot and more stuff up here. By the way, here's a little window. And yeah, a shovel. Maybe she needs it for that oven, I don't know, for that stove. Oh, and here is the other window. There are only 2 small windows, so I think it's a good idea that she doesn't have a door. Otherwise, it would be quite dark in there when she hasn't got turned on any fire. What annoys me a bit about the inside here is this book, that it isn't connected to anything. It just sits on the floor like this. That's a bit strange. Well, then let me reattach the roof and then we can talk about this set here in general. I just noticed that when I was showing you the pond that one of the grass pieces here wasn't interlocked properly. I just have corrected that, so now everything looks fine. Well, this build here is surprisingly sturdy. You see that there are a lot of these filigree plants and so on, and of course you shouldn't touch those too much, but for example the hut is immensely sturdy and that's really surprising. Also, what was very surprising, or what at least surprised me very much, is that you can remove the roof so easily, even though this upper part of this big tree is attached to the roof. Nevertheless, it's not a problem to de- or reattach it. And this thing just is extremely sturdy. You can't break it. I have built several of these cabins so far, and in most cases they were quite fragile, but this one here, that's really amazing. The build itself looks absolutely beautiful, and the pieces which we used to build this build are fine. There is no problem with the clutch power, but the pieces themselves are quite ugly. Especially have a look at those grass pieces here in olive green. Those injection holes are huge. Those things really look ugly and I absolutely don't like them. But other pieces also come with ugly injection holes. Luckily those are not that huge, but still they are quite ugly. But I have to say the designers have done a great job in covering almost all of the ugly studs. Most of the studs that we get to see are quite okay to look at. So you can see here, for example, is a stud with an ejection point, but that's fine. The grass pieces, of course, look ugly. At least they are not as broken as those olive greens ones. Those aren't even holes anymore. You can look through them. That's just bad. But yeah, maybe I'll find an example for an ugly injection hole of a normal piece. No, they really have done a great job in hiding them. That's impressive. Yeah, here's one. So you can see here the injection hole of that wedge blade. This doesn't look nice either. But really, most of these ugly injection holes, when it's not a grass piece, are covered. And I think BlueBrixx really has done a great job here. I'm not sure if this is by accident or they really tried to hide all those ugly injection holes. Well, building this set was quite fun in big parts, but in other parts it wasn't because of the instructions. The designer has done a great job with this build, but somebody at BlueBrixx just was sleeping when they did the instructions. There are so many simply bad views, or we just get to see the build from bad angles so that we don't know where to place the pieces. And there are also several pieces which simply can't be placed in such a way. I was able to correct everything and to find out where everything is supposed to be placed, but so you should be able to do it too, but this never is fun when you have to search in, for steps where you have better view on the whole build just to see where a piece was placed 50 steps before. That's just annoying. I'm not quite sure how this could happen. I'm quite sure that BlueBrixx test builds their sets before they sell them, but I don't know what in this case happened. So I can't believe that they just didn't test build it. I'm quite sure that they did test build it. And maybe they had instructions for a test build and afterwards they edited them again and didn't check the instructions after that again. And that's how we got these strange instructions here. Maybe simply they just accidentally destroyed by some automation process the angles in which we see the build. I don't know. Or maybe they simply uploaded the wrong instructions, not the corrected ones. I have no idea. I bought the set the day it was released, but shortly after that, you couldn't buy the set any longer. I'm not sure if it was simply sold out or if they stopped selling it because they noticed their mistake. I think it's really that the last case, that they noticed their mistake and stopped selling it so they get some time to correct the instructions. Because normally when sets are sold out, you see them as not available at the moment, or they set them as announcement. But in this case, the set here once again is set on available soon. And normally when they just sold out a set, it isn't available soon again. This will take normally several months until you will get it again. So I guess they really stopped selling it to be able to correct the instructions in the meantime. We don't get printed instructions, it's a special set, so they simply have to upload an updated PDF file on their website. And I really hope that they will do these corrections, because the build itself looks really beautiful, but there are just so strange errors in the instructions which are really easily avoidable. I don't know. Let's see. I'm quite sure we will get an update. Well, I think all in all, it's a beautiful set, and once there are better instructions, I really can recommend the set. It's not a set for kids. It's never fun to build trees, and you really have to concentrate to do that stuff. But the rest was quite fine to build.